So you're scrolling along Steam one day, and since you're broke, you decide to go to the free-to-play section, which you've already been to a million times. You basically have the homepage memorized. But something catches your eye. Heroes and Generals. A free-to-play World War II first-person shooter. You've seen it before, but you've never exactly tried it. You don't know why. But wait, look at the reviews. Mixed. How the heck could a free-to-play game have mixed reviews? Well, I'm here to tell you why. At first, Heroes and Generals is an addicting and exhilarating game. With the quick time to kill, instant headshots, and bullet delay, you'd expect it to play like a slow, tactical battlefield game. But if anything, it's more like an old Call of Duty. This isn't particularly a bad thing, since it's done very well and is an amusing experience, but after a few hours, the cracks begin to show. To start out with, the gameplay that you're seeing right now nearly took 3 minutes to get into. Oh, boo-hoo. 3 minutes. I could have spent that precious time wanking off to the hot girl from the It movie. I get it. 3 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but considering the fact that most games today can instantly bring you into the action with little to no loading screens, puts this game at a huge disadvantage. Another thing to note is that I've never played a game in Heroes and Generals that lasted more than 10 minutes. These matches are very quick, meaning that you could be spending half of your time not even playing the game. Speaking of the actual matches, you're either going to win by a landslide or lose with half of your team that you started out with because they all rage quitted after the first minute of the match. Your team had a purpose for quitting though. At the beginning of the game, whichever team can reach the middle of the map fastest and clean out the remaining enemies can then go on to spawn trap the opposing team until they've won. Popping a headshot from across the map feels extremely rewarding, but after using the same weapon for a long period of time, getting a headshot becomes absolutely necessary in order to get kills. I'll explain why. If you've ever played Warface, another free-to-play game, one annoying feature about the game that you might have noticed is that you have to repair your weapons because over time, they degrade and get worse. Without repairs, you could go from a god to the bottom of the leaderboard, just because of your broken weapon. Luckily, in-game money is gained fast, and repairs are dirt cheap, so the system is really just a way of trying to convince you to buy the weapons that cost real-world money that don't have the small but annoying downside of repairs needed for them. In Heroes and Generals, unfortunately the same tactic is used. The only difference is that the repairs cost much more, and you also have to repair your bullets. Yes, you heard me right. You have to repair your bullets. In Heroes and Generals, there are no weapons that you can only get with real-world money. This might sound like a good thing, but it also means that no matter how much money you spend on this game, you will always have to continue repairing your weapons and bullets. Instead of making players want to spend money on the game, it just makes them want to not play the game at all. You would think that the solution to this is to just buy more weapons, but good luck trying. There are very few weapons to pick from, and all but the first one are locked behind an unenjoyable level up system. Where most games give you a sense of achievement for leveling up, Heroes and Generals makes it tedious and boring. It all feels so pointless, and the only reason why I even wanted to level up was to unlock my first bolt-action sniper rifle. When I finally unlocked it, I didn't even have enough to buy the sniper, even though the only thing that I had bought so far was a cheap shovel for a melee weapon. After grinding some more, I finally bought the rifle. You might not be surprised to find out that it was a pure disappointment. With a fully repaired weapon and bullets, a semi-automatic rifle takes 3 bullets to the body to kill a foe. As it turns out, that was exactly the same for the sniper. 3 bullets to the body, or 1 bullet to the head. The bolt action fires slower than the semi-auto rifle. So, you might be asking yourself, what is the point of using the sniper when you could just use the semi-auto rifle? Well, I myself still haven't been able to answer that question. In fact, I don't think there is a reason to use the sniper. Yes, a sniper can be used at long range, but the semi-auto rifles have the same exact scope as the snipers, so they too can be used at long range. Even if the semi-auto rifles didn't have long-range scopes, the sniper starts out with iron sights by default, and if you want to buy a scope, it's almost as much to buy it as it is to buy the weapon itself. I could go on for an entire hour talking about the problems with this game, but I'm running out of gameplay footage, so I'll address this final point. When first playing the game, it asks which team you would like to be a part of. You can choose between German, Russian, or American. You could switch between teams whenever you'd like, but the problem is that your weapons don't transfer between them. Each team has a different set of weapons based on their country. This is why there are so little weapons to pick from in the first place, because they had to make 3 of each kind, 1 for each country. Some games, like PlanetSide 2 and CSGO, can pull this off. This is because they have enough weapons for both sides, so the fact that the teams have different guns doesn't really matter. In Heroes and Generals, the weapon equivalents for each side just feel like a copy and paste of each other, with maybe different iron sights, but that's about it. So the player is left with a total of about 10 guns that they can use, most of which need tens of hours of playing just to unlock anyway. If you're looking for a great free-to-play shooter that is worth your time, I have a few in mind. The links to these games are in the description. First is PlanetSide 2. It's a futuristic shooter with many classes and weapons to pick from. You can play on a huge continent with 200 people in the game, so make sure that you have a decent CPU before trying it. Next up is Warface. This is a modern shooter with 4 classes to choose from. There aren't many good permanent weapons to buy, but you can rent good weapons for really cheap, so by the time your rent is up, you've already made your money back. There are also co-op missions to do, so this game is awesome with friends. Finally, a game that you've all heard of, Fortnite. If you don't know already, you get put in a huge map with 99 other players and fight to the death. It's kinda like the Hunger Games, but with guns. This game is also good to play with friends, since you can either play solo or in teams. Keep in mind though that Fortnite is not on Steam, so you'll have to install the Epic Games launcher in order to play it. None of these games sponsored me. I honestly just really like playing them. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.